what you did yesterday, what becomes more important, fluency or accuracy? Accuracy. If the group has to make a group presentation, accuracy is more important. But if I say, work in your group, and in your group, plan your presentation, then I don't worry so much about accuracy. They can talk, they can make mistakes, but then when they make the presentation, it should be accurate. So you don't always have to correct them. And then if you do correct them, when do you correct them? Do you interrupt their speech to correct them? When's a better time to correct them? At the end. After they make their speech, then you give them a few corrections. Do you correct every mistake that your students make? No, you can't. You can't correct every mistake because then they will become so discouraged. Just take a few of the common mistakes and correct those. And then you can do a lesson for the whole class, not just one student. You can give the lesson to the whole class if there's mistakes. Okay, so number 7. Learning is a process of creative. That means your students, they're building their knowledge of the language. And they will make mistakes, naturally. 8. Activities that involve The 8 this morning, you were really listening and speaking. So it gave you more motivation. 9. Language that is meaningful. And then there again, you can put it in context. What did you have for breakfast this morning? What are you going to do after class? So they're using it with their own interests, something that's meaningful to them. And 10, activities in which language is used for carrying out meaningful tasks. A task is an activity that the students have to do. Okay, any questions or doubts about that?
Would you please explain the difference between a task and an activity?
Yeah, an activity can be just like, let's go get tea. That's an activity, right? A task is a more pedagogical term, and a task means that it has some purpose and some goal. So it has a very clear purpose and goal, and often steps. If I just say, students, let's go get tea, that's an activity. And often in my workshop, I use them interchangeably. But teacher trainers like to use the word task because it's more focused. Does that help?
It's not if you can make it easier. This morning we had a same.
Yes. Okay, good. He says the name game this morning was an activity or a task. I would say that was an activity.
So this fill in the blanks is an activity.
A task is something, okay, generally speaking, a task is something where you work with some other students to complete some assignment. Yeah, this is more of a task. This is a task. The name game was an activity. Result oriented. I mean, even the name game was kind of result oriented. Yeah. Yeah, okay, usually the way I use it is a task is something that you work on with a partner and you have to cooperate to create something together. together. A task, that's a task. In your group, you cooperate to create something together. And so you have some specific goal in mind. So if I say, in your group, do a survey, find out what everybody had for breakfast in your group. And then at the end, you're going to present the survey to the class. That's a very specific task.
The simplest example is suppose I take a solitary river poem. Solitary river poem.
Okay.
What's
Poem.
yeah. And if I just divide it into give all the stanzas to each one of the group, and I ask each group to go through the stanza that they have been given with, and I ask them to create questions out of those, and ask the next group. You know?
Great.
Something like that. So ask questions based on the stanza.
Make
For the next
questions.
group.
Make questions.
Yeah, make questions for the next group.
Yeah.
It becomes an active task.
Task. That's a task.
And the main game which was going on individually, you know, it was the individual effort which each one of us had to concentrate on. So that is an activity.
Yeah, very good.
This is a task, you know, where
Maybe there is a difference of degree.
group study.
Which is of intense level is an
And
activity.
interaction. Interaction is
It's a
specific.
process.
They will put it this way, a task is a
Group based.
not a sub, it is inclusive of the activity.
Well, I would turn it the other way around.
Yeah.
I would say an activity is a broader term. That includes tasks. You can do many activities in class, right? Many activities in class. Task-based activity, right? I mean, one activity in class is like one student stands and reads from his book. That's an activity, but there's no task in it really for the class. So activity is broad. Activity is the broad term. Task means you're cooperating to do something.
Collaborating learning.
Yeah, that's more task-based. Activity is the broad term. Activity is a very broad term. Task-based is more focused, and it's a specific term. Yeah.
So what is better, activity-based response or task-based activity?
It depends on what your aim is in the class, what you want to do in the class.
If one is tired, one will always have an activity. If
Yeah.
one is not tired, and then, you know, wants a meaningful lesson out of it, it's a task-based.
Yeah.
Like some painting, it's a given activity. You have to create.
Okay, and I will suggest an activity for us now. I suggest that for the next activity, we go have lunch. That's an activity. It's not a task, it's an activity. Time is limited, yes. We'll come back here in an hour, right? 2 o'clock, we'll resume. 2 o'clock, we'll resume.
కొంచెం పక్కన చెప్పి ఇరికి ఇరికి చెప్పు మొదలు పెట్టాలి పని చెప్పండి మడిచి
చెప్పండి కలిసి
గ్లాసులు పెట్టు.
I don't know how far my answer is correct. No, what is the other
We have some assumption. Whether we agree with it or not, it's a different thing.
ఇంతంటే ఇంత బెటర్.
ఏం పెడతాను నువ్వు పెట్టియా తప్పైందా తప్పైందా
ఏమో ఫోన్ చేస్తాను ఈ నెంబర్ పోయింది. నేను ఎంతో బాధపడుతున్నాను. నేను తిరుపతి నుంచి రాగానే చూడు
Where do you teach now?
It's raining water.
అవును పిల్లలు వీడియో తీస్తాను. We also had sound sleep. Sound and sleep mixed together. ఎందుకంటే స్లీపర్ కాదు. ఎన్నో పడుతుంటారు.
రెండు బటన్ పోయింది
కాదు మేడం పైపు ఇప్పుడు బటన్ పోయింది.
అది బటన్ మీద చేస్తా అట్లా పాస్ అని లాస్ట్ వచ్చినాము.
రెండు పైపు కావాలి.
రిటర్న్ చేస్తామండి.
చూడలేదు మేడం.
నేను